Today, I said goodbye to Rika for a couple days and I'm making my way to Taiwan's tallest peak, Mount Yushan, situated at 3,952 meters above sea level. I have a single day permit and plan to summit the main peak and North Peak in just one day, which will be approximately 30 kilometers with 2,000 meters of climbing. Good morning from Chai. So travel day today, making my way to the trailhead to climb Mount Yushan. So arrived yesterday, had a few things to organize, had to prepare some fuel or some food, had to print off my national park permit, which I got sorted. And so now I have to make my way to Alishan by bus. And then from there, I have to hitchhike to the trailhead. There's no public transport apparently. So I read online that apparently there's a lot of bird watchers that go there daily. So I'm hoping that I can get a ride pretty easily, but we'll soon see. I got a ride in a shared minivan to Alishan. The scenery was so unique. Palm trees lining the roadside with massive mountains in the distance. Chiayi sits at just 25 meters, practically sea level. 2 hours later, after one endless series of switchbacks winding up into the clouds, we pulled into Alishan, situated at 2,200 meters above sea level. Okay, I've arrived in Alishan and look how beautiful the view is. So now I just have to make my way to Tatajia, which is where the trailhead is. I'll stay the night there and start my hike early tomorrow morning. Hitchhiking here was so quick, I didn't even have time to get a shot from the roadside. I literally was waiting 5 minutes. It was the second car that passed and I got a ride hitchhiking. Taiwanese people are so lovely. After arriving, I had to check in at the police station for tomorrow and hand over my hiking permit. Once that was done, around 3 p.m, I checked into the only lodge in the area, Dongbu. I liked the vibe here. Everyone was preparing for their hike the following days and in a happy mood. Okay, morning of hike day. Yeah. It's like 4:45, so last minute preparations at the lodge and then gonna make my way to the start of the trailhead. Cool, excited. From the lodge to the start of the trailhead, it was around 3 kilometers. It was a cold morning, but I knew once I started moving, I would warm up quickly. The sun rising over the mountains was just unreal. The views just kept getting better and better. For the first 8 kilometers from the trailhead, I passed only a few hikers who started earlier than me. For the most part, I had the trail completely to myself. There were a few narrow paths that I had to be pretty careful on. When I arrived at 3,300 meters above sea level, I started to notice some dizziness and some shortness of breath, so I had to take it pretty easy for a while. I arrived at the Payan Lodge just before 7 a.m. Here I had to get my permit checked, refill my water flasks, and try some Taiwanese gels.
Definitely power up. Well.
This section was tough. Just 2 kilometers, but with 500 meters of climbing. There were quite a few hikers on multi-day hikes descending after watching the sunrise from Yushan.
Morning. Good. Same to you. Good.
The road came to a T and I got my first look at the main peak as well as the North Peak in the distance. It was at this point I was feeling good, and the North Peak looked way too beautiful to not summit. There was a pretty steep technical section descending at the start, followed by a beautiful foresty section that continued along the ridgeline. I reached the North Peak in just under 4 hours total time, I'd run 15.7k and climbed a total of 1,640 meters. Now it's time to refuel and make my way back for the main peak. It was at this point that the altitude was really starting to take a toll. I had a really bad headache, and what I was about to climb was looking a lot more intimidating from down below here. I was definitely getting some funny looks from the locals. I was in just a t-shirt and it was freezing up here. A few of them were wearing helmets, which made sense. This section was sketchy, with a lot of loose rocks. I just wanted to get through it as quickly and as safely as I could. I reached Taiwan's highest peak just before 10 AM. The views were surreal. I never expected it to be this beautiful. The descent started off fun, flowing down the trails, but I was kind of relying on refilling water at Paiwan Lodge. When I got there, supplies were low. The rest of the way back was a real grind, just mentally pushing through, low on water and focused on making it to the finish. It was a day I'll never forget. 32 kilometers, 2,150 meters of climbing, 7 hours and 48 minutes on my feet. I've got a lot of respect for the Taiwanese people. I didn't see one single piece of rubbish on the trails, and they are just generally kind and welcoming people. After the run, I still had to hitchhike back to Chiayi, and sure enough, I found a ride within just minutes. I love Taiwan.